Peace, everybody. Peace, peace. How y'all doing today? Shalom, shalom. First of all, first and foremost, all praises to the Most High God. Higher, higher. I am here right now, um, about to get it in today. About to get it in today, man. We got a lot of things to actually go over today. Um, and I know my videos have been short lately, but this one might be a little bit longer. I don't know about it, but I'm gonna just go straight to it. Um, the combination between, you know, Lebanon, we have Heliopolis, and we also have Aztlan. We have to understand that when it comes down to Aztlan, Aztlan is considered the place of the Hurons, right? It's also considered the place of whiteness, and sometimes it's considered the place of reeds. Now, when you look up certain things about Aztlan, right, from the place of whiteness, for instance, you tend to actually see that the Hebrew definition of Lebanon is whiteness too. Also, when you actually go into the place of the Hurons, you will see that the place of the Hurons is actually the place of the Bianu bird, right? And the Bianu bird is from Egypt. We all know that the Bianu bird is a representation of Osiris, kind of like Osiris being a corn deity in Egypt, but at the same time, corn was actually indigenous to the Americas. So, with that being said, we have to look at that too when it comes to these definitions of Aztlan. Um, Aztlan is Egypt, and Egypt is Lebanon. When it comes down to Egypt being Lebanon, we have to understand that when you look up Heliopolis, Heliopolis has a district in Cairo called El Mataria. El Mataria means mother, but it also means tree of the Virgin Mary. And the tree of the Virgin Mary is the cedar of Lebanon. So once you actually start breaking down all of these different things, you can see the conjunction and the conflation factor of these three cultures being the same area, being the same place, which is the western part of the United States. When you look at Aztlan, you'll see that Aztlan covers the whole western side of the United States. So, and also you could be able to see that there is cedar trees in the United States, regardless of where it is, south, north, east, west. You have cedars all across the board of the US. So that's another part too. When it comes down to it, you have to understand that the southwestern part of the United States has two major things that come into play when it comes to Egypt. The very first thing is that the southwest region is what we like to call the turquoise region, right? Also, you have the southwest region being one of the regions of the cattle, right? So, where can we be able to find this? We could be able to find it in Egypt. The turquoise lady is Hathor. Also, she represents the cattle, which is the cow, right? So we have to understand that too. They considered Het Heru the four corners of Hathor. The four corners of Hathor is the four pathways of the universe. And we have to understand that the four pathways of the universe is the compass rose. The compass rose is actually the eight-pointed star. And this is how you date back to Mesopotamia when it comes to Inanna, right? But we'll get to that, you know what I'm saying, later on, hopefully in the future videos. But yes, it relates to the star Venus and the light bearer Lucifer. We have to actually understand this too. When it comes down to Aztlan, we have to know the story of the Aztecs. There's a prophet named Meshi, right? Meshi is spelled Meci. right, for the Aztecs. This prophet Meshi is also considered the god Huitzilopochtli in mythology, in Aztecian mythology. Huitzilopochtli is actually the god that saved certain Aztecs from captivity in Aztlan. And he basically migrated these people further south. And he called these people the Mexicans or the Mohicans or the Mexicans. Okay? And this is how you get Mexico being Mexico or Mexico. It's based off of the Mohicans or the Mexicans. Um, that's the promised land. So, when it comes down to it, the story of Moses saving the Israelites from Egyptian captivity and actually leading the Israelites to, the promised land, even though he didn't go to the promised land himself, Joshua had to do it. We still find that same conflated dynamic between the story of the Aztecs and the story of the Old Testament. All right? So that's a key factor in that too. Aztlan is literally in the western part of the United States and in the northern part of Mexico. So we have to understand that that region has a lot to deal with Egypt. And that region also has a lot to deal with cedar trees, right? So being dealing with the factor of the cedar of Lebanon, dealing with the factor that the cedar of Lebanon represents the tree of the Virgin Mary, which is the mother, right? And we consider Inanna as the Virgin or the Lady of Heaven, right? The Lady of Heaven is also Hathor, right? So when you talk about the four corners of Hathor, you're basically talking about the four triangles that make up the pyramid. You're also talking about the four royal stars of Persia, which they also got from Babylon. You're also talking about one of those four stars that represents the ox, or what we like to call the bull, right? The eye of the bull is Aldebaran. We all know that the Hopi tribe actually believes that the Anunnaki is real based upon their petroglyphs. Okay, I'm going real fast for y'all, so I hope y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go slow. I'm going to go real fast for y'all so that way, y'all could be able to look up this information on your own. You could pause the video, you could do whatever you need to. The Hopi tribe, called the Anunnaki, ant friends. Okay, this is very key. Now they don't have antlers when it comes to these petroglyphs. In these petroglyphs, they have people dressed in Egyptian attire with hooves. These are not antlers. These are actual hooves like a goat. And they call them ant friends. Ant is a short word for antelope. So the antelope friends are the people with hooves, the people with horns. Okay? So when it comes down to it, this Anunnaki, right, that is based upon Mesopotamia, is the same people that came out of these goddamn spiral portals that we see in Wicca. Okay? These same spiral portals, when it comes down to the spiral goddess, it's the same thing. Obviously, you have the word Anu, right? You have the word Anu being brought back to the mother goddess as well. When it comes down to the word Anu, Anu is one of the names for Heliopolis. Anu is also one of the names for an Irish goddess named Danu, right? She is also sometimes compared with the moon. And also, you have Anu, which is the sky god, right? Mesopotamia, we know about that Anu already, right? But we have to understand that the bull of heaven, right, represents the mother goddess, because when it comes down to the eye of the bull, that is the eye of Ra. The eye of Ra is Sekhmet. Sekhmet was sometimes believed as the very first deity to ever actually represent as the sun. The sun goddess. She was the sun goddess before Ra. This is what certain scholars believe. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take that into consideration too. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but When I look at the sun disk on top of Ra's head, that is not the same sun that I see in the sky. That looks like Aldebaran, the home planet of the Anunnaki. The red orange color, right, is their quote unquote sun. But what is this quote unquote sun? This sun is has a definition to it. And this definition is called the bee or the follower. When you look at the bee goddess, you'll have to understand that the bee goddess represents an Egyptian goddess named Nath, right? Nath, her, she is the same equivalent as Inanna because Nath is a spider goddess. Inanna is also a spider goddess. So do you see the things that they derive from ancient Mesopotamia on down to Egypt, and then from Egypt on down to Greece, and then from Greece on down to it's a lot. It's a lot. But these correlations exist because it is the same damn philosophy, which is what we call modern day philosophy as Freemason philosophy. This Masonry philosophy has been dated back to occult hermeticism, has been dated back to Greco-Egypt, has been dated back to fucking Mesopotamia, damn near. And it's based on androgyny, which is the reason why Masonry is a perfect name for, this philosophy, this ancient philosophy that dates back, I don't know, 5,000 years ago, if not 6 to 7,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So all of these different things match up with each other for a reason. You know what I'm saying? For a reason. Inanna is the goddess of androgyny. She has male and female traits. The male and female like the Baphomet. Got the female titties, also has the male penis as the caduceus, right? Because the caduceus represents DNA. DNA is obviously inside of the sperm. You have to look at everything. Look at everything. When it comes down to Hathor, the mother goddess, you know what I'm saying? The Irish goddess, which is also Hathor, right? Anu. You have to understand that the house of Heliopolis or the house of Ra is the house of Anu. And the house of Anu is the house of the Great Mother. This is something that a lot of people don't really understand. So, what does this mean, right? Well, I'll tell you more. The place of reeds comes from a great goddess, the great goddess of fields, and her name is Saket, right? So that's how you could deal with the place of reeds when it comes down to Aztlan. Once you actually talk about this, we have to know why them actually being chthonic deities, the duat and the underworld, right? All of these different aspects of not being able to worship idols that come from the first heaven, under the sea, and underneath the ground. It's because all of these different idols are just nothing but pagan deities that are being worshipped based upon where they come from, underneath the ground, under the sea, right? At the heavens, at the stars, right? All of these different things is based upon these pagan deities. So where did these pagan deities come from? They were fallen angels. They were what we like to call in modern day sky people. Okay? And these sky people, right? I'm using avatar terms, right? These sky people were fallen angels that came down and decided to become gods, teaching people civilization, teaching people political power, teaching people how to build empires when we didn't know no such thing as an empire until modern day empire, by the way, because there were empires. I'm not gonna lie to you. the Most High knew how to build an empire based off of righteousness. But the empire of unrighteousness is what we are living in today. And we've had it's been existing ever since these motherfuckers came from the sky. And you could be able to actually look at this based upon the Apocrypha, right? The book of Jasher. You could be able to look at Jasher chapter 36:30, right? Where they talk about these unknown beings coming from the sky into the seas, and then they decided to actually steal flocks and ride flocks to the wilderness, right? You could also be able to actually look at stories that Europeans that decided to actually make about the Dogon tribe, right? The Dogon tribe actually talking about these people or these fish people coming from Sirius, right? From the star system Sirius, and they decided to teach the Dogon the history of the earth, right? These are what European narratives come to believe when it comes to them actually studying the Dogon. You know what I'm saying? Even though we don't have no sophisticated evidence that the Dogons themselves said this. You know what I'm saying? But it still matches up. Because how the fuck do you know this, right? As a European. How do you know this as a European? You know, I'm not actually saying that the Dogon actually said these things. I think that it is the European way of actually smoothing in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Gliding the truth in there, saying that it's so ancient, right? These are the games that they play. They play games, so they actually drop little nuggets of truth in there, so that way they can confuse you with some of the lies, right? This is what they do always when it comes to politics, when it comes to public information, when it comes to a lot of different things that we say is bullshit. Okay? So what am I saying? I'm saying that when it comes down to the sons of God coming into the daughters of man, that shit is actually true. Not everybody is the same. A lot of people are different. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for us having different blood types. There's a reason for us having different genes. There's a reason for us having different motherfucking phenotypes. It's because not everybody is the same. And we have to look at where we come from based upon history and based upon what we have. So it's not far-fetched at all if there were some unknown beings coming from the damn sky trying to actually take over everything and being and trying to deceive people that were indigenous to the land of the earth, right? Trying to deceive them so that way they can be able to be deified. That's us worshiping idols, something that the Most High told us not to do. The very first damn commandment. So, that's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, right? There's no other reason. I could be chilling right now. You feel me? Knowing this information, but I'm not. I'm here to tell you this, so that way you could look this research up on your own. As a matter of fact, there is the Star of Remphan, for example. Let's just put it out on the table. The Star of Remphan. There is a root word on Remphan, and it's called Rem. There's an Egyptian god named Rem, and Rem means to weep. When you look at the certain mythologies of the Egyptian god Ra, you will see that when Ra cried tears, those tears started to actually create humanity. Ra represents Aldebaran. Aldebaran is where the Anunnaki came down, whether it was 1,000 of them coming down without ships or whether it was them coming with ships. Those are the tears of Aldebaran. And those tears of Aldebaran created humanity. They didn't create man. You see, here's where we are confused. We're confused because we think that everybody's human, right? I'm human, you're human, we're all human. Just like they say, oh yeah, we all come from Adam. Just like when they say, oh yeah, we all bleed the same. We all have the same blood. That's not true. It never was true. Open your eyes and look. Open your eyes and look. Realize a lot of things that they try to tell you are not true at all. When it comes down to the weeper, right? Rim. There's a reason why they put rim inside of a rim fan, right? If you look at the way that rim fan is actually spelt, it's rim pan or rim han or rim pan. Pan is a Greek god, and Pan is the goat, Sabbatic goat. Okay? The Sabbatic goat is who? The ram goat, right? The ram goat is who? Baphomet, right? Baphomet is considered Satan. So, I'm just letting you know, these fallen, what we like to call deities, they might be real, y'all. And I'm not bullshitting with you. They might be real. There was somebody that was talking about hermaphrodite. I forgot his fucking name. I think it was Lex. No, it wasn't Lex Will. I think it was Lex Will. On one of his videos, he was talking. Well, Lex Will is a popular YouTuber, but shout out to Lex Will. I think in one of his videos he was talking about intersex, and how pretty much the androgynous, ideology. The androgynous ideology actually came from the cult of Inanna. And then it was passed down to Egypt, with the deities Happy, right? And all of the other deities that represent intersex. And then you have Greece, which is hermaphrodite, right? And then you basically have Rome, and then you have nowadays intersex, right? It's natural. These people that we deify, they love to manipulate things and alter things. This is called science magic. When you alter things and then make people believe that it's natural. That's science magic to a T. Okay? And I've already told you about science magic. The illusion to think that something is valuable, more valuable than something that is organic. That's science magic. Especially when it comes down to colors, them using colors, them using certain words, them using promotions, right? Out of a lot of things that are unhealthy for you, but you tend to still do those things anyway. That's magic. They're persuading you to do these things. They're wowing you with promotions. And then once they wow you with promotions, here you go. Science magic has everything to do with occult hermeticism. Occult hermeticism has everything to do with Egypt. We all know that Egypt got a lot of things from Mesopotamia. So, nothing's new under the sun. Nothing's new under the sun, especially when it comes down to this research. Just think about it, right? I had to think about this the other day. I'm like, all of these different animals with hooves. that are being sacrificed in all of these religions, including pagan religions. For what? Right? What's up with the animal with hooves being sacrificed? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the bull, whether it's the goat, whether it's the sheep, whether it's the damn buffalo, whether it's the cow. What's up with that? And then I figured out something. All of these damn animals with hooves have a same common ancestor, and it's called the bovidae. And bovidae just means ox. That is literally the same animal that Ezekiel saw in his vision. So that means that the ox or the Taurus bull is represented as one of the four books of Jesus: Mark, Matthew, Luke, John. It's going by fours. So all I'm saying is this: when it comes down to those three, which is Egypt, Lebanon, Aztlan, you got to understand that they are all the same region. It's the same place. It's the same place. So I don't want to make this video too long. I definitely want to kick back on some other information too. So I guess I'll see y'all in the next video. I love y'all. Take care. Peace.